What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Jon Jones reacts to updated pound for pound ranking. Before Jon Jones' fight with Stipe Miocic, there was tons of debating about the UFC's pound for pound rankings, and while fans and voters alike had Islam Makhachev and Alex Pereira battling it out for the top spot, Dana White was pretty adamant that Jon Jones deserved the top spot on the UFC's pound for pound ladder, even though he hadn't fought since March of 2023. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. After his victory over Stipe Miocic on Saturday, Jones landed as the number 2 fighter on the UFC's active pound for pound rankings. While Dana White and Alex Pereira both posted on their Instagram stories saying that Jones deserved to be the pound for pound king, Jones was cool with only being second. In a post on Tuesday, he reacted to the news. Being ranked number 2 pound per pound at 37 years old. I'm happy with that. Even though Jones finished Stipe Miocic with a crushing body kick, Matt Brown wasn't amazed by the win. In the latest episode of he and Damon Martin's The Fighter vs. the Writer show, he explained that Stipe Miocic didn't look great inside the octagon. As bad as he looked athletically, he looked his age also. I say he looked past his age, to be honest. Straight legs, no hate on Stipe. It just looked like he doesn't have it at this point, and why should he? He came in to challenge himself at the highest level with the greatest ever and didn't pass the challenge. This might be a little controversial, but to me, it almost takes away a little bit from Jon Jones. I mean, he beat him almost flawlessly. I gave Stipe round 2, but it wasn't like some demolition or anything. It was almost flawless for Jon Jones, but I wasn't amazed by Jon Jones beating that version of Stipe. If Jones doesn't wind up fighting Tom Aspinall, at least he left fans with a knockout of the year contender in his final bout. Jon Jones responded to the UFC's post asking who he should fight next. Jon responded saying, "Double champ in Glory Kickboxing, double champ in the UFC. Use this as the be all day button right here. Don't think, just double tap." Netflix getting sued for Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson. Fight fans were ready to throw hands with Netflix on Friday night as the streaming service kept going down during the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson card. Fans on social media complained about the technical difficulties, which only seemed to get worse as the night wore on, leaving some viewers with poor video quality and others completely unable to watch the scrap. On Tuesday, TMZ reported that one fan from Florida filed a class action lawsuit against Netflix, alleging that the company breached their contract thanks to all of the streaming problems. Despite all the problems, MMA Fighting's Damon Martin highlighted the event's success. Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson tops out at 108 million global viewers. According to Netflix, that's now the most streamed global sporting event in history, and Katie Taylor vs. Amanda Serrano 2 becomes the most watched professional women's sports event in US history. He then followed it up with another post referencing the fact that Netflix is expected to make a bid for the UFC's media rights once their deal with ESPN expires. I still don't know for certain if Netflix is going to get more heavily involved in combat sports, but this number has to at least get them interested in bidding for the UFC rights next year. 282 million subscribers, over 1/3 tuned in to watch this fight. Insane. Ariel Helwani also weighed in on the success of the event on his Ariel Helwani show on Tuesday.
Netflix announcing that Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was seen by over, as they put it, 108 million viewers around the world. It's the most streamed global sporting event ever, and Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 2 is the most watched professional women's sports event in US history.
If Netflix wants the UFC to go with them for their next media rights deal, the technical difficulties on Friday might not have done them any favors. UFC Fight Updates. Leading up to this weekend's UFC Fight Night Macau card, let's take a look at today's UFC Fight Updates, starting with a bantamweight scrap between Ricky Turcios and Bernardo Sapai added to the UFC 311 card in January. Turcios' last fight saw him lose to Raul Rosas Jr. over the summer, while Sapai lost his UFC debut back in March. We also have a flyweight fight between Jasmine Jasadavicius and Mayra Bueno Silva added to the Saudi Arabia card on February 1st. Jasadavicius is on a 3-fight winning streak that's seen her finish 2 of her 3 wins, while on the flip side, Mayra Bueno Silva is looking to snap a 2-fight losing streak that's seen her go winless since 2023. Later that month, Julia Avila and Jacqueline Cavalcanti will throw down on the UFC Vegas 102 card on February 15th. Avila will look to make a successful return to action after a 2023 loss to Miocic Tate, while Cavalcanti has been on a tear since joining the promotion, winning 3 straight fights. There's also been a report going around from Red Corner MMA that Izzy and Nasruddin Imavov are going to headline the February 1st card in Saudi Arabia. Interestingly enough, MMA Mania's Alex Bahunin also teased a big fight for Imavov on Tuesday, putting fans on high alert as we wait for confirmation from the UFC. Last but not least, in the way of fight updates, Eddie Alvarez and Jeremy Stephens are set to throw down on the Knucklemania 5 card on January 25th in Philly. Considering his role as an investor, Conor McGregor might wind up doing the face-off between the two. Darren Till threatens Tommy Fury with MMA in boxing match. Back when Conor McGregor was set to fight Floyd Mayweather, some combat sports fans thought it would be hilarious if McGregor wound up taking Mayweather down, or decided to throw a kick. Even though McGregor didn't throw caution to the wind and unload on Mayweather with MMA techniques, Darren Till might kick Tommy Fury come January 18th. During Tuesday's press conference, Till told Fury that if he can't beat him, he'll just fire off a head kick. At the end of the day, if I can't beat you, I'll just kick you in the face in there. How about that? If I'm losing the fight, I will kick you straight in the face. You won't know what hit you. When Tommy Fury said that if Till kicked him in the face, they'd be involved in a real fight, Till seemed completely unfazed, saying that if they got in a real fight, then as an MMA fighter, he'd win. Later during the press conference, Tommy Fury's dad, Big John Fury, started a scuffle by throwing water on Till from across the table, forcing security to get involved. Even though the fight isn't until January 18th, fans are already concerned about Till's physique after seeing a clip of him shadowboxing for the cameras. Stipe Miocic breaks silence on UFC loss and retirement. After being finished by Jon Jones on Saturday, Stipe Miocic announced his retirement during his post-fight Octagon interview with Joe Rogan. While the UFC might not have had a big tribute prepared for the occasion, the former heavyweight champ broke his silence on the loss and his retirement in a lengthy post on Instagram on Monday. Along with a highlight reel showing clips and photos from throughout his career, Miocic reflected on his journey from fighting in bowling alleys to Saturday's MSG headliner. In addition, he thanked his wife, his coaches, his fans, and his opponents. Sorry I didn't get the W, but you can't get them all. Sometimes it's not your night. That is the nature of the beast. You can't plan a perfect ending in this sport, but I guess the perfect ending is to have been lucky enough to do it at all. You all have given me so much, and I hope I did you all proud. Croatia and Cleveland, Ohio especially. I felt all of you with me at every battle. To my opponents, thank you all. I learned something from every single one of you. It was an honor to go to war, brothers. And finally, to the fans. You guys are the heartbeat of this sport. You are what makes MMA amazing. Without you, we fighters don't even exist. The rush you gave me walking down to that octagon is forever engraved in my memory. Thank you for that. Forever grateful. It's been a hell of a ride. Miocic also notably announced that even though he's retiring, he's got a couple of projects in the works that fight fans should keep an eye out for. On top of bringing back his podcast, he's also going to be breaking down all of his fights for fans. Even though he might not have gotten the W on Saturday, his place in MMA history can never be denied. Ian Garry goes off on Colby Covington after Colby was booked to fight Joaquin Buckley at UFC Tampa. Here's what Ian had to say to Colby.
Hey, give me that. This just shows that this ducking me. He's been ducking me for 7-8 months. I signed for the baddest man in the division, and this guy comes out of the shadows. He's a bitch. And one day I'll get my hands on him. Joaquin Buckley, I'm behind you 100% of the way. Go out and put that man asleep. Please and thank you. Do it for me, because he's not able to do it against me.
Top comments. Take Nickel off the main card. Early prelims suit his fighting style better. Bo saying his team told him he did good. Bro, it's like asking your mom if you're handsome. Of course she's gonna lie. Why is Bo Nickel crying about the commentary? Their comments were valid. Using Dana's logic, Jake Paul should be the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world because he beat 58-year-old Mike Tyson, just like John beat a washed 42-year-old Stipe who hasn't fought in almost 4 years. Bo admitting that he only listened to the opinions of his yes men is hilarious and so deeply delusional on his end. Former 2-division champ and all-time great Cormier doesn't know what he's looking at. My yes men told me it was a flawless victory. Bo is deep in Delulu land.